This will be the second PowerPoint lecture for Chapter 6. The title of this PowerPoint lecture is American History, Unit 3, Lecture 2, The Federalists Take Control. So the election of 1796, like I said before in the previous lecture, George Washington will leave after 2 terms or 8 years in office. So the second president of the United States will actually be elected, and this election is obviously in 1796. The two running for president are John Adams, and he will be represented by the Federalist Party. If you remember, Alexander Hamilton cannot run for president because he is not a natural-born American citizen. He was born in the Caribbean. And Thomas Jefferson would be the running against John Adams, and he would be represented by the Democratic Republican Party. John Adams narrowly wins the election, but because of how the Constitution was written at this time, whoever comes in second will be the vice president. So in this case, the vice president and president are on two opposite political parties, which they did correct this later on down the line, but yeah, kind of very odd situation with the political parties and president and vice president. And like I said before, the 12th Amendment will address this issue a little bit later on. The XYZ affair. So relationships with France are strained during this time. We do try to make amends with France. We have some trade deals with them, like Jay's Treaty, U.S. neutrality, and the Federalist victory, all though caused tensions with France. Okay, France didn't necessarily want us to be neutral. They wanted us to pick a side, their side obviously, but we do not. John Adams sends a group of diplomats to try to smooth things over and patch up relationships with France. The French representatives that meet with United States diplomats or representatives do not give their names. They actually give themselves a title X, Y, and Z. And these French representatives demand payments from the United States for causing them, I guess, agony or hardship for not helping them with Great Britain. The United States refuses these payments, and this begins a 2-year undeclared naval war with France. All right, the Alien and Sedition Acts. You may have listened or learned about these in Crash Course number 9, but I'm going to kind of go into some more detail. Political tensions between Federalists and Democratic Republicans is very high at this point. Federalists seek to curb opposition and they overreach, meaning the Federalist Party, or in this case John Adams, don't like how the Democratic Republicans are attacking their political party and the president at the time, John Adams. So they seek to kind of curb or quell or stop this political opposition. So the Federalists under John Adams passed 2 controversial acts. The first one is the Alien Act. The Alien Act was designed to eliminate the arrival and staying ability of immigrants who spoke out and were critical about the John Adams administration or the John Adams presidency. Okay. And then the second act that was passed at this time was the Sedition Act, which stated that it was illegal to criticize the president and the Federalist Party with false, scandalous, or malicious statements. Okay. Obviously, these acts would not be upheld for very long because they were unconstitutional. You can't deny anybody entry into the country just because that they don't like a political party or they don't like the president's political party, which is what the Alien Act was doing. In the Sedition Act, same thing. You can't make it illegal for someone to criticize the president or the Federalist Party. Now, we've talked about slander and libel before. Yeah, you can't make up lies and spread them through the means of social media or on the newspaper. That would be libel. You can't make up lies about somebody that harms their character. Same thing with slander. You can't spread spoken lies about somebody. So the Sedition Act is kind of along those ways, but it's also kind of unconstitutional because everyone has the freedom of speech. So nullification. Thomas Jefferson and James Madison and others see these two acts as unconstitutional. Why? I kind of just gave those answers on the last slide. You know, you can't deny someone entry into the United States, and you can't imprison someone for speaking their mind or having a different opinion than you. So in response to these two acts, the states of Kentucky and Virginia write resolutions. All right, historically named the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions. What these resolutions state or declare that those two laws are unconstitutional and that individual states have the right to nullify, this is what nullification means, to nullify or to declare a law unconstitutional, which they did have, in fact, a right to do that because those two laws were, in fact, unconstitutional. Like I said before, if the government creates a law that violates our rights, we have the right to declare that law null and void, meaning to cancel or to cancel out. And obviously they have Thomas Jefferson on the $2 bill saying that. So the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions, are the first instance of nullification in United States history, and they will set a precedent for future attempts to nullify or cancel laws.